Deep inside the pits of hell, we see a dark sky loom over a field of glowing blue grass. Large, sparkling rocks levitate above the ground, and several of the realm's inhabitants frolic through the plains. Much like their duke, they resemble deer, but stand upon two legs with appendages that more resemble human than animal. Traveling through is a small train of the denizens, some clutching glowing white orbs, following in the footsteps of Lacrimosa. She walks slowly, taking in the sights around her as if they were brand new. One of the younger deer hurries up alongside her and exclaims, "Madam, if I can ask, what is so important about these memoirs you've asked us to collect?" Lacrimosa turns towards them with a wistful look and responds, "Opportunity. The chance to do right by those on the surface who serve me. I wish to offer them something in return, but to do that, there are some pieces I must learn myself. The memoirs we've collected weave through some of the most difficult times in their lives. I believe that by studying them, I should be able to help them in the near future." Do you think they'll be mad that you're digging through their deepest, darkest secrets? Lacrimosa pauses. Do humans experience anger? I can't remember. I'm fairly certain it is geese that experience it, not humans. No, I am positive this will have absolutely zero negative repercussions towards anyone. The young denizen looks skeptical, but decides to trust in their leader's instincts. Besides, how dark could these be?
When the night is calm and peaceful, loving hearts are all in tune. There's two lonesome people in the whole wide world. That's me and the man in the moon. When the little birds are nesting and I listen to them croon, there's two lonesome people in the whole wide world.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, it's me, Mark.
Hi.
Beth is also here and just said she wasn't going to make any comments. It's been a while since we've done one of these.
It has.
But we're doing it again, and we're going to talk a little bit about Earnest.
It's me, Earnest.
And specifically, we're going to dive into his past.
Yeah. Learn something about Earnest.
And I'm kind of interested in this myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you've always woven Earnest as a big old question mark.
I have. It's for good reason, too.
With a lot of his history and motives, unbeknownst both to the audience as well as myself.
Yeah, I have a general idea about Earnest, but literally I just kind of make his stuff up as I go.
Great. Well, I hope you got something for us. Because you got a pretty cool thing that you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
And that was Earnest arriving in Cincinnati.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of brush up on Earnest and him buying the bar and like just getting into the business of being a bartender.
Yeah. So I guess to start off with, what brought Earnest into Cincinnati?
I think he just thought it was like a nice little quiet town in Connecticut, which is a nice little quiet state. I mean, very later on he would learn that is very wrong. But at the time, just a nice little quiet town to move to. He wanted to get away. From his past.
Yeah. I think that all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, first impressions of the town. As you stroll through the downtown, perusing it, taking in the sights, the locals, a very strange building labeled as a carporium.
Shady Bob's? Is it Shady Bob's?
It is Shady Bob's.
Oh, I love it.
Ernest is digging it.
Yeah, no, he likes it already.
Okay. And you do spy a vacant building for sale. Just in the heart of downtown. Looks nice.
It does look nice. It looks like a photo studio. Ernest has always wanted to open up a little photo studio.
Yeah, he got his camera when he was young.
Yeah. Still carries it around to this day. Doesn't know how to take a damn picture, but,
But now, does Earnest buy it with the intention of being a bootlegger?
No. I don't think he does.
So he buys it as a photo studio.
Yes, and the back room where his bar eventually goes is just kind of empty. It's his photo developing room, actually, at the time. For the first, like, maybe month or so.
Yeah. But it probably doesn't go very well.
No.
Because your clientele quickly becomes aware of your incompetence.
Yeah, I suck.
Yeah, I think Ernest's demeanor, the fact that you swear every time someone opens a door, is definitely unsettling to a lot of people. And then when they get their photos back and they see these blurry messes.
Yeah, of course, as Ernest does. He thinks they're pretty good. He
Yeah.
thinks it's art.
But a lot of people are put off by it.
He doesn't understand, but, you know, I think what happens is one day one of his clients just kind of gets fed up with how terrible Ernest's photos come out. And he says something along the lines of, if you're going to take a picture like a drunk, you ought to be one. And I think Ernest thinks about that long and hard. And he says, well, I don't want to drink, but maybe I can serve people who do want to drink.
Suit yourself, you asshole. He flips you off and exits the premises.
Oh, I was unaware I was saying that to him. But okay, yeah, so Ernest probably clears out that room the very next day. And he decides
Just like that.
Yeah. Ernest is a very in-the-moment dude, like I've said. So he just clears out that room and he's ready to fucking open up a bar. He's got connections from New York to get booze.
Already.
Oh, he was in New York before this.
Was he?
Yeah. Ernest had a brief little stint in New York where he just kind of lived in New York. Didn't really have a home.
Maybe like fresh out of school.
Yeah, he was just kind of experimenting. And he got in with the weird crowd, but now he knows where to get alcohol from.
Shit. All right.
So he calls up his good friend 2 Big Greens. He hasn't been promoted to 3 Big Greens yet.
Oh my god, you're asking me to do a voice I haven't done in a year. What the hell did he sound like? Ernest!
Hey, TBG.
How's life in the big... Well, I guess this is the big city. The smaller city.
Smaller but equally important.
Oh, thanks, man. You always know just what to say.
You got it. Listen, man. So I know I don't drink, but I'm thinking about opening up a little bar. You know what I'm saying?
Like a little big bar?
A little big bar in the back of my little big photo studio.
How is the photo business?
People hate me, and somebody told me that I should be a drunk, so I decided to open up a bar.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But your photos are so good.
Thanks, TB. I know, but people in Connecticut just don't get art.
Oh, man. That's Connecticut, all right.
The little big city.
The little big city.
So yeah, I was wondering if you could hook me up with some nice booze.
Yeah. Well, we get some shipments in pretty regularly of the good stuff. Hey, but you don't drink.
No, but I mean, listen, it's good money.
Yeah, but you don't. I'm not. Listen, I mean, people want to get drunk. I mean,
Yeah.
but like, are you the right person to do this?
I think I'm as good as anybody.
Shit, I'll take your money for sure.
Thanks. Thanks,
swing
man.
on by this weekend. We'll get you hooked up with some of the goods.
Do I have my motorcycle yet?
Do you? You tell me.
I don't think Ernest has bought the motor. No, he did. He definitely bought the motorcycle already.
We haven't heard about the motorcycle in a long time.
Yeah, Ernest doesn't use it too much. He's got too big of a crew now.
Yeah, here's Marcus Appleton now.
Yeah. His personal chauffeur. Yeah, so I guess we'll fucking do that. Just go grab the liquor.
All right. TBG hooks you up real good right out the gate.
So I get that good stuff at first, but I just transition to my toilet booze later.
Yeah. I think that's more of an Earnest thing, though. I don't want to think that TBG is like actively trying to rip Earnest off.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. He's a good guy.
And it's the first day of your bar.
Yeah.
You are so excited. to open this. You know, this bar, it's going to be the hot spot in town.
I put up signs outside that says, not a bar inside.
Okay. You notice that no one is coming.
I cross out not. So it says a bar inside.
Okay. A kind of tubby police officer enters and says, "Hello there, son.
How you doing today, sir?"
I'm good. I couldn't help but notice you had a..."
Oh no, not a bar, a BAR, like a Browning automatic rifle.
Like a military
Yeah. You want to see?
Yeah.
All right, let me show you. And I lead him to a case that is completely empty, and I go, "Oh no!
Oh my God!
My gun's been stolen.
Your gun's
officer.
been stolen.
You have to help me."
We will get right on that. God bless you and your service.
I salute him.
He salutes you back and exits the bar.
Beautiful.
Do you take the sign down?
No, it's staying up. No, I leave the sign up. I just leave the sign up.
A few days later, a kind of timid-looking young man enters and says, "Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
good. I noticed you had a sign in your window. Do you have a Browning automatic rifle?"
Oh, no, not a bar. A bar, like alcohol.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
Are you in the business for some alcohol?
I might be in the business for some alcohol. What do you got?
I got the good stuff, whatever that means. My dealer just said it was good. It's probably moonshine.
He follows you back into the bar and says, "Wow, this place is amazing."
Yeah, and the cops also did give me a Browning automatic rifle. I told them mine were missing, and they just gave me one. So I could show you a rifle, too. It's my cover. It's my cover for the bar.
They found you a rifle?
Yeah. I'd imagine Scooblop is so dedicated to his job that he just ransacked somebody's house and took their gun.
I like to think that's not what happened, but maybe they just happened to come across one. And just accidentally put that together.
Great.
This man sitting at your bar, he slurps down some alcohol and says, "This is amazing.
I'm glad you like it.
What's your name?"
Jeffrey.
God, Jeffrey. Do you know what would make this place better?
What's that?
Pretzels.
Oh my God.
God, just like a nice bowl, like pretzels and some nuts, maybe.
Earnest gets on his 1920s computer and orders a 10-pound bag of pretzels and a 10-pound bag of nuts. Except he doesn't. He calls up his supplier, TBG.
You call him TBG again?
Yeah.
Earnest?
Yes.
I don't... What?
You sell alcohol, so you're like a bar, right? You sell pretzels too?
No, you're like a bar.
Yeah, but you're like a bigger bar.
No, Ernest.
That's not how this works?
No, you gotta go to like a grocery store or something for that.
What the fuck? Okay. Well, thanks, TBG. I'll call you in like a week or two when I need some more alcohol.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Goodbye.
You hear from the other from the other side from New York, you hear, really wanted to ask him to hang out. Come on, TBG. Come on.
I'll make a note of that.
This man, this first customer,
Yeah.
what he tells people.
Like in a good way?
In a good way.
Okay, right.
And the word gets out pretty quick.
That I don't have that I do both have an automatic rifle and a bar?
Yeah, a real bar and a rifle bar.
Right. Maybe I could start doing bar exams too.
I don't know if Ernest is quite qualified for that, considering he is a chiropractor. I'll never let you forget that.
I always forget that he's a fucking chiropractor.
But yeah, and more people show up. And what did you say your name was? Jimmy?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey?
That is what I'm known to my clients, is Jeffrey.
In the
Jeffrey
inner circles.
Jongle.
There is one night where this strange redheaded woman who always comes in a robe she's a regular. She talks up the clients.
She doesn't drink ever, does she?
Doesn't drink.
Of course, she eats my fucking pretzels
She
and
has a
drinks all
lot
my
of
water.
pretzels.
Yep, I have to buy a new bag of pretzels every week because of her.
There's one night, Ernest, where she brings in a shorter man. And the two of them are sitting at a table, not at the bar. And you're listening to their conversation, and the woman says, "Mr. Thompson, my organization is completely on the books. We help people in need. And all we ask for is some donations, but we haven't gotten many recently, which is fine, but that's why I've come to you. I'd like to apply for a loan, something that I of course will repay in time, but..."
She's applying for a loan in my bar?
Yeah, something. I mean, she's a regular visitor there. It's off the grid,
Okay, I guess.
off
yeah.
the record.
Okay, yeah.
And the short man adjusts his glasses and says,
It's Gerald!
"Yeah."
Mark, did you not know?
I was trying to think of his name.
Oh.
And says, "Lady, I appreciate this. I don't drink. So there's that. But I've heard about what sort of organization you run.
Oh, shit.
On the books or not, I have a hard time trying to justify this sort of loan to, and you'll have to forgive me, but to a cult."
Shit, get her.
The woman stares at him coldly and says, "Mr. Thompson, we are not a cult. We help people. Yeah, you basically kidnap people. Anyone ever leave that place of yours, Miss Jones?" And Danica does not respond to that. Shortly after, Gerald excuses himself from the establishment as the redheaded woman makes her way over to the bar and says, "These people, they can't see what I see.
What do you see?
I see a world that needs a leader, a world on the brink of destruction. Do you have any idea what that's like?
Terrifying.
It's a burden, and I'm both blessed and cursed to carry it with me. My apologies, I don't wish to be chatting your ear off, of course. Jeffrey.
Thank you.
No, she knows his name's Earnest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say she calls him Earnest in
Yeah.
the first episode. All right.
Yeah. She's smart.
She's just trying to keep up appearances.
Yeah.
And she scoots her way a few stools down, and you hear, "You poor lost lamb."
I roll my eyes and I start packing up for the night.
One last thing before we close out. Ernest, you hear small voices in your head as Danica scoots down, and they say, "Stab her, kill her. She's evil."
Is that the psychic rats?
Yeah. Ernest's eyes just widen. He's like, "No, not again."
The woman turns to you. "I'm sorry?"
Oh, no, like, just the rats. Just rats. Don't worry about it.
A few rats scurry away
With an entire bowl of pretzels.
with the entire bowl of pretzels.
You damn rats!
Secretly, it's his offering to the rats.
Yeah, no, that's actually me, like, giving them food to leave me alone.
It doesn't work.
No, they still fucking talk to me.
Do you think they're still looking for Ernest?
They're, like, venturing the city trying to find me, but they don't know that I'm at a nice hotel.
Arc 6, Rat Be Gone.
I would
Question mark?
I would love for the rats to come back. I would team up with them.
They were a stupid joke.
I love them.
May that joke rest in pieces. Hi, Beth.
Hi.
You've been in the room the whole time.
I have full of energy. My neck just cracked some more. Full of energy, full of life.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were lying down for most of that.
I definitely wasn't.
Okay. I want to talk about Dandy.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've done one of these.
Oh, yeah.
It's been almost a year.
Oof.
Yeah, oof. But shit, like, I know Dandy's in a pretty not super great place right now.
I think she's in a medium place right now. Like, she's married to the love of her life, but she's still reeling. And I don't think I actually talked about this when I confronted Harvey, but, like, as much as it's like, oh my god, Harvey killed a man in front of me, Dandy knocked him on the head, which made him fall into it. So she's got a lot of guilt. So she is in a medium mental zone right now.
That's fair. So what I wanted to pop in with, and this was, we talked about this, off microphone, but was her career peak.
It was a few months before the events of Coldspiracy. She'd been having some regular clients. She'd been very successful. She is actually a pretty decent PI when she actually remembers that she's a fucking PI. And, it all culminated into the wife of a senator being like, hey, I need you to discreetly follow my husband for me. And she did, and she got the information, and...
well, why don't we delve into that first?
Okay.
Because we got some time to kill. we got some space we need to fill.
All right.
So it's a normal day in the office.
Normal day in the office.
Dandy, you've just come off a hot case. What was it? What case did you just solve?
This woman's ex-best friend, did she or did she not steal her dog?
Did she?
Yes.
Nice. But she got it back.
Yes.
Very good.
She's got a couple of bruises, though.
From the dog?
Oh, yeah. It was a big, St. Bernard boy.
Okay. But you're doing pretty well for yourself. And a nervous older woman enters your office.
A Dandy who sweeps behind her desk, pulls her collar up a little bit, puts her glasses on straight, and nods at the woman as she walks in, and she's like, hello, ma'am. What can I do for you today?
You're the private investigator, aren't you?
I am. My name's Dandy, and she sticks out her hand.
She shakes it and says, well, now would be a good time to give the senator an official name.
All right. Did we ever pick the last name? Wasn't it Harris? Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. So, this is his wife, Margaret Harris, wife to Senator Artemis Harris.
Mrs. Harris, at your service. Well, I suppose I'd like you to be at my service, preferably.
Absolutely. Why don't you please take a seat and tell me what you need?
My husband is a very powerful man. Senator of Vermont.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I understand, Connecticut politics different from Vermont politics, but my husband, Artemis, very well respected man. I think he's cheating on me.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
What I need from you is proof.
I would be more than happy to take on your case, ma'am. If he is, I'll get you proof.
Thank you. What are your rates?
$20 a day.
She nods.
All right, and I don't expect this to take, well, I mean, with proof. I wouldn't go much longer than a week, especially if he doesn't, I suppose, act on it. These things might take time, but I will make your case the absolute, front runner, especially since it's out of state.
Thank you. He told me he has a business meeting next week in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
How often does he frequent Portsmouth?
It's not just Portsmouth, but he's been on a lot of out-of-state business recently that I just don't know about.
How long does he often stay on these trips?
Weekends, mostly.
Interesting. All right. Could you send me the address? Give me the address of his hotel, and I'll book myself a room.
She writes down the name of the hotel as well as a phone number for you to contact her at.
All right. I am so sorry, but I will get you what you need, ma'am.
Thank you. And she excuses herself from your office.
Dandy, like, as soon as Dandy's, like, sure she's gone, she's, like, jumping up and down and, like, yee! Fuck, yes, I got it. I am gonna be so fucking big in this town. All right. I gotta go to New Hampshire. And she starts, like, making calls and books herself a room as Stacy Anderson.
Stacy Anderson.
Local reporter on geese.
Local geese reporter, Stacy Anderson. Now, maybe we can talk a little bit about Dandy's methods.
Well, Dandy, like I'm pretty sure we're all aware, is very good at disguising herself.
Yes.
And she's pretty damn stealthy, but she uses that more so to sort of fade into the background. Like, she can be loud and cause a scene when she needs to. She's really good at distractions, but when she works solo, she does her absolute best to not be noticed. And when you're someone who can sort of, like, fade off, you can hear all kinds of shit. And she's also got her photography, so, you know, walking around, taking pictures of geese and stuff. Or just general wildlife. It's pretty easy to get away with, you know, snapping a couple of photos into a bedroom, or someone taking a walk outside, holding hands, kissing. It's pretty easy to just be like, whoops, like take a snap up in the corner. So her main goal is usually to disguise herself in some sort of fashion and then just sort of be somewhat around the target, but often a distance. She doesn't always like to get up close and personal. Mm-hmm. She never confronts.
Of course. Now, so you travel there. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that it goes pretty well.
Yeah, she has, I imagine this dude is so confident in his, in himself and his situation that he spends a lot of time outside. It's really nice outside, especially in New Hampshire. It's beautiful. It's breezy, and it's a perfect place to sort of have a nice weekend getaway with a lover. Going inside, going outside, there's always something to do. And so it's pretty easy because he makes no attempt to hide himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, out of state, out of mind. Mm-hmm. Senator Harris is just kind of a shithead.
Oh, yeah.
What's the mistress like?
I feel like she's like, just looks like a normal woman, like she's younger than the senator's wife seemed to be, but like she just kind of seems like a nice young woman who maybe she doesn't know what she's really getting herself into. Maybe Senator Harris lied to her too. Mm-hmm. Dandy doesn't really want to get involved in that because she's not really paid to ruin the life of this woman.
Right.
She just wants to get proof against the senator.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't try to look into the woman too much, because she's not really out to ruin lives. She just wants answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. Now, but it all goes wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why we find Dandy broke and miserable at the start of Coltspiracy.
Now, here's the thing that Dandy didn't really account for. This is probably the biggest job she's ever had, definitely the most high profile. Just because Senator Harris is, you know, a man who may be brazen in his actions, he's not a stupid man. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing something that you know you shouldn't be anyway, you're still going to take notice of your surroundings and the people. And, you know, if you keep seeing the same woman, even though she might be far off or closer, just kind of doing stuff, you're going to take notice. And Dandy doesn't always pass all of her stealth checks. So, especially when later his wife confronts him with these pictures and descriptions and all this stuff from that weekend, the same weekend that one woman just seemed to be everywhere you were. Dots start to connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is a man with connections.
Exactly.
I think that the act of tracking you down is not very difficult.
No.
But what did he do?
What do you mean? Like
when he found you?
He had sort of the same mindset because it wouldn't really do to cause a big scene. But he just sort of spread rumors, like how when Dandy kind of came to Sinzaba and pretended to be a senator from Idaho and immediately gained access to the mayor's office.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard when you're in a position of power to assert that power and sort of, just spread things here and there. So he just lied and started slandering her name, telling everyone how much, she'd botched something over here, cost him something over there, ruined marriages, all this stuff. Just lied until no one wanted anything to do with her.
And the town eats it up.
Mm.
And it's an easy sell, especially when he finds out about your brother.
What?
Well, the sister of a cop who was mysteriously murdered.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Wait, are you saying he accused her of murdering her brother?
There was never an accusation.
Does Dandy know about this?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think anyone would have ever, gotten to Dandy with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was a cell.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cell that traveled through the town, and you lost almost all of your clients.
Mm-hmm.
But there were still those that, believed in Dandy, that knew she was capable of something greater, even if her reputation was tarnished.
Mm. Well, like they said, the first couple of... When she came to Sinzaba, the first, 4 or 5 people she successfully helped. I mean, they may not have been the big time or anything, but she never did anyone wrong.
Yeah. And some people still knew that, which is how a young banker knew.
Gerald.
to come talk to you.
Ugh. What a shit-fat... Not Gerald. What a shit-face. The senator.
Did he ever say anything to you?
I don't think he ever did directly. I mean, obviously she knew what he had done. Because, when people stopped coming, when they started avoiding her, giving her dirty looks. I think she got a letter. That wasn't even, it wasn't even a direct thing to her. It was, one of those, thank you for your whatever, or whatever, from just signed Senator Artemis Harris. And at the very bottom, it just said like a tiny little note. It was just you're welcome, or something. Something, really shitty.
Oh, snap. Hey everyone, it's Max here for your regularly scheduled ad break. What's up? Thanks for listening to, I think we're calling this the second part of In Between 5. But yeah, we get to look inside our characters' past, so that's cool. So next week, coming out on the 28th, we have something, the Great Jewel Auction, or Beth actually had a good name for it. The Great Jewel Debacle. So something along those lines. And it has a really special thing that's going to happen. So look forward to that next week. We'll of course have a free clip of that available on Saturday. So, tune in. I want to thank everyone who's been talking about the show, either with the hashtag TinCast or just telling a friend. If you do that, thank you so much. There is really no better way to help support us. And so please. That would be incredible if you would do that. If you already have and you do it again, thanks. If you want to follow us on social media, capital TIN_cast on Twitter, that's where we are. Still kind of want to make a Tumblr. I've sort of been trying to talk about that more, but, Twitter's where it's at. Or you could also hop aboard our Discord. That's a great way to keep in touch with everything that we're doing. You can find the link. It's our pinned tweet on Twitter. So please join up if you have a Discord. It's a really nice time. There's some amazing people there. It's just a really, really good community. So, and thanks to them. I want to tell you now about Patreon. We have one, patreon.com/tincast. I'm sure you already knew that, but that is where you can help the show financially. And if you want to do that, that is always a big help because, this show does cost us real world money to produce, but with your support, it helps significantly lessen that burden on us and just lets us continue doing what we love. So thanks if you do that for us. Hey, do you listen to this on a service that lets you rate, comment, and subscribe like iTunes? If you do it. Do the thing. If you have the opportunity to leave a rating and a review, that's incredible. And subscribing is purely for your benefit, and it just puts episodes hot and ready at your doorstep, like a fresh baked loaf of bread. And if you're gluten-free, whatever your favorite food is at your doorstep every Monday. Isn't that convenient? I don't know why I love that analogy so much. But I do. We don't have any ads again this week, but if you're interested in promoting something you're working on or giving a friend a birthday shout out or talking about your D&D campaign, please hit us up either at tincast13@gmail.com or on Discord. Did I forget anything? Oh my God, our critical success patrons. Oh my God, Alexander Getty, Brett Abraham, Joseph Stoll, and Will Schrampo. Thanks, guys, for supporting the show. How could I forget our critical success boys? I'm so sorry. This episode is one of our longer ones. I didn't think it was going to be this long, but it was. Also, I'm sure that you've noticed that this is kind of like only halfway through the episode, but we only have one more character to talk about. And that's because Harvey didn't really get to do this the first time around, so we talk a lot more about Harvey than Dandy or Earnest. So get ready for a Harvey marathon, and oh boy, it's a good time. It's a roller coaster, but it's a good time. And also, Earnest aside, this episode is definitely a little more on the serious side, which, it's definitely nice to explore this kind of thing. But if this isn't your cup of tea, the good goofs will be back starting next week. So, and please enjoy the rest of the episode. We love you guys so much. Thanks for supporting the show. Tell a friend. Seriously, please. I'm begging you. My wife is going to leave me again if you don't tell a friend about the show. No pressure. Bye. Hey, Sal.
Hey.
We're going to talk about Harvey today.
Yay.
Yeah, you... Behind the scenes, we just had like a 15-minute discussion about why talking about Harvey is okay.
Why it's okay.
Why it's okay to talk about Harvey. So Harvey, joined us later than the other two, and we never really got a chance to delve into who Harvey is and like where he came from. And I mean, you've been you've posted stuff online about Harvey. You've drawn a lot of art about Harvey and where he came from, and I think have painted a good, if not kind of vague, because it's an artwork medium, what you're doing, picture of your character. Mm-hmm. So I guess and there is a specific scene that you want to delve into, but before we get there, let's talk about Harvey. Like, what is Harvey's origin story?
His origin story. Well, Harvey was born in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, and I feel like we've talked about this a little bit, we've touched on it, but I don't know if we've touched on it like on the main podcast. But he was not born Harvey. Harvey is trans.
Mm-hmm.
He was born to his parents in Seattle, and he grew up, and around 15 or 16, he was like, I'm definitely not a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And he left because he didn't want to tell his parents that that he was trans, because this is the 1920s and it probably wouldn't have gone very well.
Yeah.
And even if it had gone well, it probably wouldn't have been wise for him to stay around, like, where he knew everyone, and it was just a hassle to stay, and so he didn't tell anyone, and he just left. And he has, I don't know how much you want me to get into, because like I could go on for days.
I mean, listen, we got like 20 minutes to kill, please.
So when he was younger, he has a really kind of weird relationship with people. He has a really hard time relating to people and seeing them as like anything but tools. And it's not really out of a malicious standpoint, really. He's not trying to be a terrible asshole. He just like can't relate to people on a like human level. He has a really hard time connecting with people. And so growing up, he always he was kind of a little con man. He always used people to get what he wanted.
Where did Harvey meet Charlie?
I think Harvey met Charlie in school, in Seattle, and it was one of Harvey's very first like person-to-person connections when he was able to connect to somebody, which is really funny because Charlie is kind of the exact opposite of Harvey, where Harvey's very like quiet and kind of resigned and very like kind of dry. He's kind of just kind of a dry asshole. Mm-hmm. Charlie's very like upbeat and kind and sweet and positive and likes to see the best in people, which I feel like is the only kind of person that would ever get along with Harvey, because anyone else could take a look at Harvey and be like, that's a terrible man and I want nothing to do with him.
But Charlie wasn't like that.
No, Charlie wasn't like that. He took a liking to Harvey and thought that there was a good in Harvey that nobody else could see, and so they went to school together, and at the time Charlie thought Harvey was a girl, and so they started like courting each other, and Harvey eventually did come out to Charlie, and Charlie was the only person that really like supported him full-heartedly, which is a very important part of Harvey, I think, and why he thinks so fondly of Charlie, because Charlie was like a support beam that Harvey had never had before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that all makes sense. And so Charlie must have come with Harvey when Harvey left.
Yeah, they ran away together.
Mm-hmm. How involved was Charlie with Harvey's schemes?
Not at all.
So Harvey was essentially living like a double life, or I guess that's not a fair way to put it, but he was keeping secrets from Charlie.
Absolutely, he was keeping a lot of secrets from Charlie because Harvey very much kind of mentally split on Charlie and thought Charlie could do no wrong, and was very like admired him and was almost a little obsessive, and so he didn't want Charlie to find out anything he was doing wrong, so he covered up all the schemes and the murders and everything. He would just kind of come home and have money, and Charlie would be like, where did you get that? And Harvey would just be like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So there was a specific scenario that you wanted to delve into a little bit today.
Yes.
Do you remember what it was? Do you want to set it up?
I don't know about setting it up because I'm bad at that.
Well, let's talk about it then.
Okay. So the scene that I wanted to play out specifically was Harvey and Charlie leaving Seattle, because that was probably the hardest part for Harvey to really, I guess, conquer. Because leaving your entire everything it would be hard for anybody. And so I wanted to play out them leaving Seattle and going to the East Coast, and possibly Harvey committing one of his first murders behind Charlie's back.
What was the first night away like? You and Charlie have packed up your bags. You've left. No note. Car gone.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you guys go?
Probably drive as far as possible before the car starts to run out of gas. Harvey's really quiet for the time being, not really crying or throwing a fit or anything, but definitely not saying anything. There's not a lot of conversation. It's very high tension. I feel like Harvey probably feels like they're going to get caught.
Mm-hmm. Even though at this point, there's nothing really to get caught for in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, no, logically, there's nothing. There's nobody chasing them. There's nobody running after them. There's nothing to be caught for. But Harvey's still afraid that someone's going to find them and make them come back home.
I gotcha. So it's the first night. The car, almost on empty, managed to bring you guys a very good distance away. You left early. You drove all day. You got a good distance away. Still a long hike, I think, ahead of you, but exhausted. Who drives? Just curious.
Charlie.
Exhausted Charlie brings you guys to a pretty shitty hotel. But I think it was at Harvey's insistence that it be somewhere, not very fancy, conserve money, and also keep off the grid.
Yeah.
And collapsing in the shitty hotel bed, Charlie pulls out some papers and says, "I've heard good things about New York."
It's really far away. New York's on a whole other coast.
He sits up and pats his side and said, I thought that's where we were going.
Yeah, you're right. We could go to New York.
I think I have some family out in Vermont. Never met them.
Do you really want to be going after family right now?
Well, you're right. You're right. I just, I don't know. This is good. This is good for us, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like maybe it was a mistake and I'm taking up too much.
Well, you gotta follow your heart sometimes. He punches you on the shoulder and says, "You got a good head on those shoulders. You know that? You're resourceful."
Thanks.
If not New York, what about New Hampshire? It's still got the new vibe in it. You think it's still new?
I don't think it's still new.
We could go to Old Hampshire then. Would that be more up your alley?
I think New York's fine.
Yeah, New York's good. They got I don't know. I've heard some crazy shit about the East Coast.
Harvey's just gonna kind of lean back and smile at Charlie a little wistfully and nod. And I want to note that at this point, because they just left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Harvey still has really long hair.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of playing with it, and he looks at Charlie and goes, "Do you think you could help me cut my hair?"
Yeah, well, yes, absolutely, 100%. I am required to inform you that I am not a licensed hairdresser.
I think it'll work.
He nods, and the next day, Charlie acquires a pair of scissors, and I mean, I wasn't even gonna roll for this, so I won't. But he does an okay job.
An okay job.
Of cutting your hair. And once he's done, he gives a good ruffle and says, "There we go. That'll be $50, please."
Oh, yeah, you're kidding.
He laughs and sort of gives you a big hug from behind and says, "All right, come on. We got a long trip ahead of us."
Yeah, we do.
And your journey continues. How long does it take to reach the East Coast?
I feel like that's an actual question that has a real answer, Max, and I can't give you the real answer.
Okay, listen. I mean, like, if you had the most favorable conditions, all of the time in the world, I'm talking minimal sleep, you're looking at probably...
I would say like 4 or 5 days.
At the very least.
Yeah. So maybe it probably takes them about a week.
Hey guys, if we're wrong about that and it takes longer, that's our bad. We've already broken time so many different times. Hey, did you know, while I have you here, here's a fun, this is a normal fact for you, because Sal was the one who wanted to give Harvey a chainsaw, and I was like, I don't think they were around. And Sal was like, nah, they were.
No, they were. I googled it.
Yeah, this recently came to our attention, thanks to friend of the show Catherine for this. They were only 2-person chainsaws.
Yeah, I know that.
Why does Harvey have a chainsaw then?
Because I always figured because they're like, you have to like hold one from one side and the other person holds it from the other side. Mm-hmm. And so I always pictured that Harvey is literally just holding it from both sides.
Oh, okay. I guess that's
swinging
fair.
It like that. Yeah.
Damn, that's.
And I've always drawn it with both handles.
Oh, okay.
See, well, I know.
Good. I'm glad, because I had no idea. I always pictured it as a normal chainsaw, and I was like, "Oh no!" But anyway, to get back on track here, if we broke time, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, it is a bumpy journey, out to the East Coast, as it takes you guys about a week of travel. Money runs tight, and hold up finally in New York. The two of you realize that there's not a lot of money left. And Charlie says, Yeah, I didn't think it would go that fast.
Doesn't it always?
Okay. This is fine. I listen. We're plenty resourceful, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm gonna do. You ready for this?
I don't know. Am I ready?
I'm gonna run for office.
You're gonna run for office.
I'm gonna be a community leader, and I am gonna rake in the big bucks.
In a place where no one knows who you even are.
He like finger guns you and goes, yes.
Okay. Well, while you run for office, I could start looking for a job.
That sounds like a really good idea. And you actually, we've talked off recording before about like Harvey's first kill.
Yeah, we have.
Do you remember it?
He became a serial killer by age 17 because he would con people and then kill them and take their money because he needed money to survive because, well, we all do. And he was hopping around the East Coast to try and live and make ends meet and stuff. And so to get money to survive on, he would kill people and then move to get away with it. And he hasn't been caught yet.
Yeah, somehow. I guess Harvey's just really good at covering his tracks.
Yeah. He also would use, before he started to like publicly transition, he would use his like how he looked as a girl as a cover up because people are less likely to suspect women.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just very manipulative.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Isn't it? It's great.
What you told me was that it was actually like a couple friend.
What?
Like it was one of two people you had met, like, who were together as a couple.
Oh. Was it he tricked one of them
Yes.
and killed the other?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember vaguely talking about this.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago, guys.
It was it was a very long time ago. But I think that, you know, as you sort of dredge your way through a shitty part-time job that you pick up, maybe helping out like a local general store or some sort of shitty retail-ish job.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, while not necessarily taking his promise to run for office very seriously, is certainly charming up the town, and tells you about all these new friends he's made in the area, and just really seems to like be putting a solid foot down.
Mm-hmm.
And he introduces you to a couple. Let's give them names, shall we?
Oh, names are the best.
Yeah. What? hit me with them, Sal. What are they?
Their names are Sylvia and Jareth.
Sylvia and Jareth Jacobson. I've given them a last name. They're very nice. They're a few years older than you guys, but they are like your buds, you know. I think it's nice to have people who didn't know you before, that you find are just sort of like here accepting you.
I'll say Harvey isn't used to it and is kind of standoffish from them. Like, they're friends, but like definitely not really opening up.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. So why don't you walk me through how it all happened?
All right. Well, I think the idea comes to Harvey. I would say that one of them is talking about, they're having dinner one night and they're talking about life insurance because, you know, they're an older couple and that's something that comes up. And so Harvey gets the idea that, you know, him and Charlie need money, that he'll somehow get one of the couple to have help, or to let him invest in life insurance. So like if one of them dies, he gets some of the money.
Mm-hmm.
Which surprisingly isn't too hard if you are friends with somebody, and if you say, well, what if you guys die? Like, you'll want your money to go to a safe place. Why don't you just have it go to me so then I can help your family?
Mm-hmm.
And Harvey, if nobody knows this, is really persuasive. And that's not just me being like, oh, he's really persuasive. Like, literally on his character sheet, he's extremely persuasive.
Yeah, you got good persuasion. Yeah, so Harvey puts those persuasion skills to the test and convinces the couple to invest in some life insurance. But he has to cash it in somehow.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's one late night. Charlie's in bed because Harvey doesn't want him to know what's going on. And he kind of creeps out of bed, and he calls up Sylvia.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll tell her that there's an emergency and that her and Jareth should come over right away. And I think he meets them out because they're probably Charlie and him are probably still staying in a hotel, like a long stay hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And he meets them in the back alleyway. And I feel like he would catch one of them and tell the other to go check on Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would leave with the one that he didn't tell to go get Charlie.
Jareth?
Yeah, probably Jareth.
Okay.
And he'll probably make it look like an accident. So like a dog mauling or something like that. Something that's like easily dismissible as like it was either not a suicide because that's kind of hard to stage, but like someone with a drunk attacked him or something like that, and make it seem like an accident.
Yeah, I think a drunk attacking sounds good.
Yeah.
And then how does Harvey phrase it?
Well, Harvey would come back to an awakened Charlie and a Sylvia of some state, and probably, you know, has some dirt and blood on him and is just acting horrified and petrified, and says that, you know, Jareth is in the alleyway and some drunks came by and took their money and beat them to death, you know, beat him to death, and that Harvey was able to escape. And so he would phrase it in a way that he was playing the victim, that he had to you know, witness this horrible crime. And
yeah,
this would be not the first time he's had to act like the victim. So he would have some practice of it, and again, he's very persuasive, so he would probably lead them back out to Jareth's body to confirm that he had died. And that's how the actual murder would happen.
Okay.
Or have happened.
And this, of course, sets off a trend that would follow Harvey as he evolved and eventually became a business owner with his own hotel in town, or in a town in New York.
Yeah.
Now I have one more question for you.
Yes.
Did Charlie ever catch on?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Do you want me to just delve into this now?
Yeah, we'll try and wrap it up, but just quickly.
So, Charlie eventually caught Harvey in the act.
Okay.
Harvey was taking care of just a stranger this time, not a friend, and had been, you know, trying to cut up the body and dispose of it. And Charlie went to go find Harvey and found him with the body. And Charlie told Harvey that he wouldn't turn him in because he loved him, but he wouldn't be with Harvey anymore as long as he knew that he was doing this. And so Charlie packed up his things and decided that he would leave, and Harvey begged him to stay, like crying, screaming, you know, just hysterical, trying to get him to stay, which is probably the only time that Harvey's ever been hysterical in his life. And Charlie just left.
And that was 5 years ago?
Let's see. 5 or 6, because Harvey's 26, and that happened when they were in their, like, 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Sal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Max.